Hi and welcome to Fertile Ground. This is Angie. I'm the lead farmer here, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a tour of our farm so that you had some context for the webinar coming up on Wednesday and show you a few things that might be relevant to what we're talking about. Fertile Ground is a 10-acre market garden. We grow on about 4 of those acres every season. We're just outside of Waterloo, and we grow primarily for CSA with a few wholesale contracts, though not so much this year with COVID. Anyways, I'm just going to show you around a little bit, and you'll know where we are. So this over here is our cooler and wash station, where we do all of our work prepping things for CSA. The cooler just got moved down to our wash station last year, so we're pretty excited about it. There's still a little bit of work going on. This is Spiff the kitten. So here's our packing shed. We've got a root washer, and then we've got our cooler built into a shipping container just off of the side of the packing house, and the back side of that is a tool shed. So that's pretty exciting for us. New addition. You can see we've got a few different structures. This small one here was our original seedling greenhouse when the farm started up 14 seasons ago in 2008. And hang on one second, you guys might be blurry. Does that help at all? We've now turned it into for this season anyways, our cherry tomato house. So you can see we've got our cherry tomatoes all trellised. And then we've got a high tunnel, which is 100 feet long, and that is where all of our main large slicing tomatoes are trellised. And in front of that is our pick your own flower garden for CSA members who come to the farm pickup. And then we've got our seedling greenhouse, and inside we don't have a lot of seedlings left, but we do have a few last brassicas and lettuce ready to plant. And right here is our first planting of our fall lettuce trial that we're doing as part of the farmer-led research program, which is an efao group trial. There's 10 farms that are taking part, and we've been doing a summer trial, which we'll take a look at in the field. And then this is our fall trial. We've got 6 different varieties of leaf lettuce, both red and green types, and then true leaf and Batavian. And we are trialing them, the fall trial, to see how they withstand cold temperatures and handle germination in the summer heat, and then also how they head up, like whether they get to be a nice size in the fall, whether they're prone to bottom rot and tip burn in the summer heat. The fall slot is a tough one to grow lettuces in because they need to withstand the summer temperatures as a seedling, but then as a mature head they need to handle the cold of the fall. So we're seeing who can manage in that slot. So this is trial. This is the first planting of the trial, and then in another week we'll do another planting of the same varieties, and they'll be transplanted 2 weeks apart in the field. That'll give us a little bit better idea how they handle some slightly different weather variations. So here's the rest of our greenhouse with the last bits of what's growing, and we'll go take a look at the summer trial in the field and see a few things along the way. We just had a rainstorm here, got about 3/4 of an inch in about 15 minutes, but it was very, very welcome. We haven't had very much rain. So just some of our fields. You can see things are a little flattened from the rain. Garlic. Obviously missed a few scapes. And our bean patch. And behind our bean patch is our fall brassica planting. I got a little bit of washout from the rain here too. So we're heading past an area that we've just got cover cropped in buckwheat, just holding for when we get our spinach and some other fall greens in here in another couple of weeks, trying to keep things covered. And then we're heading over to our very overgrown and in need of mowing spring block that we just haven't quite got mowed down and turned under yet, but will in a couple of days. So this is where our first planting of the summer lettuce trial is, and it is ready to be harvested this week, though we're actually not going to harvest it. We're just going to see how long these different varieties hold. So you can see it here. This is very like the fall trial. We've got 6 varieties of leaf lettuce. In fact, some of them are the same as the fall varieties because lettuce that can withstand summer heat is often similar to the lettuce that can withstand the cold in the fall. So we've got Nevada, which is a green Batavian, and I think this is Tropicana and Muir. So you can see we've got 2 replicates of each planting. So we've got 1, 2, 3 lettuces here, and then we've got Green Star, Magenta, and New Red Fire. And then we've got all of those same varieties planted again in behind, and they're all just in randomized order. So these will be taste tested this week because a lot of them are ready to harvest, and then I'll continue taking observations on tip burn, bottom rot, bolting, bitterness, that sort of thing, until they are no longer any good. So we're just going to watch them grow and not actually harvest these for market. Some of the growers are indeed harvesting for market and won't take their trial right through to its literally bitter end. And some of us are going to leave them in the field and get some season-long data. So anyways, this is our well, we've got some basil here, but then this is another one of our projects. So we work, I actually work for Seeds of Diversity part-time through the winter months, and then take a break to farm in the summer, but I do some growing of seed library varieties. So we'll talk more about the seed library, and there's another clip that you're being sent where Bob talks some about the Seeds of Diversity seed library. But in addition to the 2 beds that Bob grows here for seed library grow outs, I also grow some varieties for seed. So this is my seed saving bed. This is a Rotkopian tomato, something we didn't really know anything about. It's a dwarf tomato, and look at that. We've got one that is starting to ripen up that I'm just noticing I need to take some observations on. So just like lots of the volunteer growers who are sent seed to grow out and refresh for the seed library, I choose a couple of varieties to grow here, take observations on our observation forms so that we learn something about these varieties instead of just having a name and a list in a database. And this is just ground cherries and tomatillos for my staff to eat to create the distance required for isolation. And then we have a Amish canning tomato, which is a variety that I discovered in the seed library and love. So it has become my standard canning tomato. So I actually end up growing fresh seed for that every year for the seed library. And you can see we chose not to trellis these. We just mulch them with straw and let them sprawl, hoping that works out okay. A few melons for my staff to eat to create some isolation, and then this is a pole bean that my landlady actually gave me my first year farming, so 14 seasons ago, and I love it and donated it to the seed library and have been growing it every few years to keep it alive because we don't actually know what its original variety name was. And so this is the only way to maintain it. And then we've got some black peas for the seed library, which have blown off the trellis in the wind. come back and fix those later. And then a few more beans we don't have very many of. And then one more variety of tomatoes. This is a red zebra tomato, which I will put into the seed library, but it didn't come from the seed library. This is actually just a variety that I really like and decided I wanted to save some of my own seeds from. So that's our seed saving, the ones that we manage here. And then there are 2 other beds that are managed by Bob, like I said. So I'm going to take you over to some other areas of the farm in a moment.